You're a really soft comet. No, Blackie number 3. Be nice to Blackie Jr. Hey, Smokey. You need to share that toy with your sister.
What the fuck, dude? This place smells like cat piss. Ugh. Seriously, dude. I counting like 12 more than there was last time. Where do you keep getting these fucking cats? I'm so sick of all these cats. Well, except for that one. I kind of like that one. And those two are fucking. They're not even kittens.
No, they're not. They're just playing leapfrog. Silly cats.
You know, I've been in the Slashers Anonymous thing for a while, and I've managed not to fall into any of the Doc's tropes.
Frederick, would you like to share anything with the class today?
Nope.
Are you sure you wouldn't like to talk about your mother, Frederick?
Nice try, Doc.
Anything you'd like to add, Frederick? Perhaps about your father?
Not gonna happen.
Frederick, would you like to talk about your childhood?
Sorry. I'm cool. I mean, I really have nothing to complain about in my life except for what I have to talk about today. And it's real embarrassing, and I'm real nervous, but I just can't deal with these cats anymore. Jason's driving me nuts. Look, Doc, he keeps bringing in cats. I can deal with his other bullshit any day of the week. And you know I don't come to you with any kind of trouble. So, you gotta help me here. What the fuck do I do about all these goddamn cats?
Yes, Frederick, I completely understand, and it's okay. It's okay to open up and let go. That's what we're here for. Now, as far as your issue with the kittens and Jason, I have a feeling this is rooted in Jason's issues with his mother.
So what are you saying? Should I cut their fucking heads off or what?
No, I don't suggest that. I just suggest that you taking this into consideration and perhaps help Jason find mothers for the kittens, and that will clear up your kitten issue, perhaps. The doctor gave me the bestest idea ever, and that is I'm going to start an organization to find kitty mamas for all the baby kitties in my apartment, and my roommate Fred's going to help me.
What the fuck? I didn't agree to that shit. What the fuck is all this shit?
You know, those guys that have been filming the documentary thing at Slashers Anonymous? Well, they're going to help us make a commercial.
Oh,
Yep.
What the fuck
You're going to
makes you
help
think I
write
actually
it,
want to do
and
this?
you're going to be my
God,
director.
this makes no sense.
Because you're so bossy and good at it.
You're right about that. Just do the lines as I wrote them. Quit making your own notes. Ugh. Yeah, let's get this shit over with. Action or whatever.
Hi, my name is Jason. You can call me Jay. I like that. That's cool.
You're a dumbass.
I'm here today to tell you about an epidemic that is taking over our entire country. And that is the motherless kitten epidemic.
Epidemic, dumbass.
There are hundreds of motherless kittens out there, and we're hoping there are hundreds of kittenless mothers as well, so we can match them up. In the meantime, we would like your donations to build a motherless kitten zoo.
No.
Yes, a motherless kitten zoo for all the motherless kittens. And you can help us. And it's tax deducible.
Deductible.
Deductible.
How did you ever talk me into this shit?
Please, donate today. We will have a fundraiser in the park tomorrow at 3 p.m. Be there. Or be square.
Well, yes, you fucking wrote that.
I did.
Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah.
Alright, I get ready now.
Here we go.
Come on, let's get together, all you sisters and brothers. We got to give to these kids without mothers. They don't have homes to go home to. Won't you please give me some money for my motherless kitten zoo? Oh, motherless kitten zoo. Let's get together, all you sisters and brothers. We got to give to these kids without mothers. They don't have homes to go home to. So won't you please give me some money Won't you please give me some money? I need some money to build a zoo. Oh, a motherless kitten zoo for you, yeah.
Thank you. Wow, I'll admit, that tune wasn't half bad. Still doesn't matter. We're not keeping the fucking cats. We're not building some
I'll
zoo.
take a motherless kitten. Yeah, well, I'll take one too.
I'll take a motherless kitten.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad all my kids found nice homes.
Yeah, me too. Now, hopefully, we can get that fucking smell out of the house.
Look who I saved, though.
Oh, what? Oh, that's the one I like? That's kind of cool.
It's Rover 3.
That's a really fucking stupid name, dude.
Television highlights of the news of yesteryear.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the weekly wrap-up here on Midnight's Edge After Dark.
I cut someone off.
Look we got a panel here. We've got Mr. Paul Chatto, who's talking to his son.
Hearing that stand up probably would be great. That routine.
Or he's going to mute there. All right. Well, hello, Paul. Just wave if anything. There you go. Good enough. Culture's here as well. How you doing, Culture?
I'm good.
This is my son here.
I heard.
Oh,
Hi, son.
Oh, wow. He's much more handsomer than you are.
Yeah,
He's
What happened?
extremely handsome.
Not
Yeah.
really. The camera doesn't do me justice. I swear.
I can imagine.
Camera adds 8 pounds to his head.
Wow.
And it adds like 50 years to...
His hair. I forget who, but I think one of his coworkers said I combed my hair with a firecracker.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Wow. Yeah, wow, he's funnier than Paul. Can we get him on the show?
Yeah, can we swap him out? We can... Yeah.
Anytime. But the thing is, he's got a one-track mind. He'll just talk cars.
Oh, yeah.
Something about Subaru engines just asked.
So is it like...
Yeah.
Well,
like,
he might be
is it-
one for
is it
Midnight Engines.
Talladega? I mean,
Yeah.
is it Daytona?
No. He's not into any of that.
Oh. Okay.
And also joining us is Jacob from Society Reviews. How
I
you
know this
doing?
guy.
Hey, how's it going?
He used to show up on my shows.
No,
He doesn't
I'm
know
fine.
me.
If Jacob had
Then you
glasses
started,
on, it'd be like...
starting him at
Hey,
like
hey,
midnight
hey.
on the East Coast time when I had to go to work. So
You ever
Tom
notice
made me
that?
push my show back so that he
Just a-
so he can...
But if you notice this, if Jacob ever got glasses, it'd be like yin and yang.
Oh, it would be. Yeah. Oh my God, that would be so great.
I need a little bit more gray on the beard though. For it.
Yeah, well, that's where it's contrasted, see?
Live together in perfect harmony.
Oh, no, don't do that.
You know what was better was when they did it on Saturday Night Live with with Joe Pescopo and Eddie Murphy as Stevie Wonder, and Joe Pescopo was playing.
Oh, it was so great.
Frank Sinatra. Did you ever see that one?
Pisco.
Yeah. Is that how you say it?
He went roid nuts.
He's all like,
Episcopal?
now give me a bouncy seat.
Yeah. He started to become a extreme bodybuilder and went.
Yeah, he
roid-
did.
He roided himself.
Ebony and ivory, you're as blind as a bat, and I can see. You guys
was
remember
good.
that one?
I did. You know, hey, do you know what I just watched?
Oh, you're
The
going
fall
to
of
make
the
this
Disney
yes?
Empire.
What?
The fall of the Disney Empire.
Well, yeah, kind of, because I was watching the latest Midnight's Edge video just premiered. It was incredible.
I've not seen the latest Midnight's Edge.
It's amazing. It just premiered. I mean, literally.
I came back from a long walk. It's beautiful. The weather's here is very nice. So
Off a short pier.
I came back from a walk, and then I'm burning a Windows 7 DVD for my son because he's trying to fix his boss's computer.
I have 100 questions. What?
I don't think any of that was clear, but I think we got the point.
Windows
If that makes
7?
sense.
Yeah,
Isn't that a blast from the past?
yeah, because he's the boss's computer is really old.
Yeah, he needs to upgrade. It sounds like.
He fried.
Was he still using Net Zero 2 already?
No, but I understand why. Because he works probably for like something to do with cars, right? Paul?
Yeah, and
Like a
all
garage?
his Windsor. He does drag racing with a Windsor engine Ford 5.0.
This is why it
and,
takes 2 days for you to get an estimate on a part from your
and this
garage
is,
because you got a
and all the
computer that
tuning.
still runs Windows 97. That's why.
So all of his boss's tuning.
His
the
room unironically looks like the set of like Red Letter Media when they're doing
Okay. So all of the software that tunes the vehicles has to use Windows 7.
Correct.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
All right,
All
Because
right.
it's an old Windsor engine.
So upgrade the computer to like now and then run a Parallels or something to like emulate Windows 7.
You're talking about a guy who drags Ford 5.0s.
As long as the top is down so his
he
hair
can
can blow,
barely-
we're good.
No. My son has suddenly become his IT person.
Wow. Well, he's got the hair for it.
He does, and he's
Well, it's a
good.
perfect bridge between you and
Yeah.
what he does, though, isn't it? Though, so it's like a crossover.
Oh yeah, we share a lot of computer stuff, network stuff, and car stuff. Although
It
he's
seems
way
like
better at all of it.
it seems like your son and I would get along really well.
Oh yeah, he's
Quit trying to date his son, Culture. He's not
All
into
right.
you.
you can have a chat with him all
All
the
I know
time.
is Paul's my favorite Dove Fortnite model, so I cannot wait.
Oh my god! They are all so white too. Did everybody notice that? Like even the black model is white as hell.
Well,
Yeah.
she's an albino.
I
albino.
know. Isn't that funny as hell? It's just, I thought it was ironic.
Well, I still have not heard from Epic saying I challenged them. So you've now made these Fortnite women, put them in your fucking game,
Yeah,
and I've not heard a peep from them.
Nobody's gonna play dump truck. I mean, that ain't
No.
gonna happen. Yeah,
I'm playing the girl in the wheelchair.
Here's the cool thing: if they made a Fortnite model
They
of
call her
Jacob,
wheels.
I'm playing the fuck out of that.
Oh yeah,
Dude looks like he could take. Dude looks like he could block like the entire like.
Well, Jacob
offensive
looks
line.
like he looks like he can
well,
kick some ass.
Look at
He
that
looks like a
dude!
wrestler.
whoa. I think they should have a Fortnite with only black women and a Target store. That's what.
So
they
you
should have.
want them to turn Target into a Waffle House? That's what you're
That's
trying to
it. That's what I want.
Make Target Waffle House again.
Well, have you seen the ransacking of the Targets of all these women running in? Haven't you seen those videos? Those are entertaining.
Makes me happy.
As a wise man once said, that's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
Bro. Well, this is why I wouldn't mess with Jacob. Look at this here. He dressed up like Miles Morales. He wants to kick some ass.
Dude, okay, so I've hung out with Jason in person, and he could kick everybody's ass.
You mean
Did you guys
Jason or
see
me?
this?
Jacob, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Did you say Jason? Who's Jason?
Yes, I was making the funny joke about Jacob, Jason.
Okay, I wasn't certain that whether it was a woman or not.
Yeah.
No. Jacob in person is a very is a presence. Yeah,
But he looks like a really nice guy.
he is always a sweetheart.
Looks
He's
can
like,
be deceiving.
but he's like hugging a couch. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
It's not like you do that often there, Culture.
I do whenever I see him. It's like, oh, dude, I love you.
You hug a couch every time you see
No, I
Jacob.
love-
That's got to be awkward.
Are you in the
Like,
same
hey,
city?
buddy, give me a hug. Please don't hurt me.
Are you in the same city?
What now? Huh? What? No.
Are you
Oh
in
no
the
no
same-
no.
No,
But
no,
he's been to meetups. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he
I
goes
see.
places. You don't. You're Canadian.
We're once Ellis, my son finishes off his 1970 240Z. We're looking to put it on a trailer, go to California, and go to a bunch of meetups there, and
Oh, they will love you long time.
yep, and show off his 240Z.
Yeah,
It's going to be stunning.
it's not going to be very different for you being a Canadian to go to California. They're very much socialist, just like you.
I've spent time in California, Silicon Valley when we were doing video games. I spent went to the San Jose Gamers Con a lot and stuff like that. It is a different world. Their kind of socialism is not the same as ours. California socialism is more like an insane amount of rules that basically let you do nothing.
Yeah. Look, as someone who was born and raised in San Diego, California, I love what California used to be, and I hate what it's absolutely become.
You
used
must be really sad.
It used to stand for like freedom and love and harmony.
Yeah.
You can't have so many rules. It's a state filled with.
Can you imagine like the mamas and the papas in like 1966 getting a glimpse into what California would turn into in 2023?
Wow, California! Ah!
Yeah.
I went for a walk, and there was shit in the way.
Dude, no, not even kidding. So I used to work at a place right across the street from Petco Park in San Diego, right in the heart downtown. Right. And like during my normal lunch routine, I would just go walk around the gas lamp, try to get a little like work in. Yeah. And I noticed like the homeless problem has always been bad in downtown, but I noticed it over the last few years before I left. Getting it to the point where I can literally smell the urine just in the air walking downtown.
You talking about San Francisco?
No, San Diego.
San Diego.
San Diego, really? Yeah. Well, SoCal was pretty red until I don't know recently, and now it's kind of purplish and it's bad. And I mean, you got. Well,
San Diego used to be red. And I think it's like 60% Democrat now, and that has a large portion to do with the fact that so many people from outside of California have moved there now, and it's finally like taking over. So like the transplants have completely taken over.
Well, there's also a lot of people are buying $500 RVs and then parking them and living in them.
Yeah,
all over the place. I've seen it.
The only respectable place in California left is Orange County, and I know they flipped blue over the last couple of years, but it seems like they're trying as hard as hell to pull it back the other direction right now. So that seems to be like the only place in California that hasn't completely lost it.
Gavin Newsom is out of his mind.
Yeah,
and I'm a liberal. I'm a progressive, but he's nuts.
And keep in mind, what was before him? Wasn't it Jerry Brown before him?
Yes.
I know he had like a couple of.
He had a comeback.
Yeah, don't call it comeback.
Speaking of comebacks, here Zontar sends in a Canadian 550A and says, "New Garden wins the Indy 500. USA, USA, USA."
I was watching F1. I don't care about the Indy 500.
Yeah, I was watching Conor McGregor.
You're an American, Paul.
Thankfully, only
F1. It's the Formula 1.
Yeah, you did not hear me. You are anti-American, Paul.
Yes, by not watching the Indy 500.
According to Zontar, nobody was hurt in the grandstand.
I was a huge American racing fan back in the Trans Am days.
What now?
I love Trans Am, not because it had trans in the name.
You keep cutting out. You love trans what?
Trans Am.
Trans men, he said.
That's what I thought.
He said trans mams. That's what he said.
Yeah, something. I thought it was trans men, trans mams. It's all the same.
It's raining mams. Hallelujah.
I used to watch the races back.
Culture.
In the 70s.
It's not Pride Month yet. Give it a couple of days before we have to go through.
It's not month. It's not month. It's year. It's all fucking year.
No. Now it's the season.
Now it's all fucking year.
What is it? What is there's like this particular season. That's where we're at right now.
All the leaves are brown.
The leaves are
shit
brown
on the ground.
And they're
I went for a walk.
You went for a walk.
And there was turds in my way.
And the turds in your way.
Yeah, well, we've got, all this month divvying is controversial up here in Canada.
Francisco dreaming. Sorry. Oh, wow, Paul, I talked over you. I apologize.
That's okay.
Yeah. But I got to ask you
I'd rather hear you singing anyway.
You did see the Little Mermaid, and this has very little to do with this, but we did bring this up earlier. I'm like, I don't remember anybody giving a shit when they did The Wiz. It's like, if they're going to do this, I just want them to do if you're going to do Black Little Mermaid, just do Black Little Mermaid like they did The Wiz.
Well, by the way, they're remaking The Wiz too.
Oh, I'm not surprised. But like this come across my desk via 6.
Wow.
The Wiz star Stephanie Mills relates her own experience to racist backlash towards Little Mermaid's Halle Berry.
But there was no backlash.
I was going to
to the
ask.
Wiz.
Yeah. Paul, you were probably old enough. Culture might be old enough. Was there ever any backlash towards the Wiz?
Yes, there was one. I'll tell you what it was. Everyone thought that the lead, what's her name, from the Supremes, was too old.
Diana Ross,
was
yes.
the backlash. That was what everybody complained about.
I love the Wiz. I love the Wiz long time.
No, I'm just telling you what the backlash
I see what Paul
was.
is saying. He's right. That's the only thing I do remember them talking about at all was like, yeah, Diana Ross.
Diana Ross, way too old for Dorothy.
See, I don't believe that.
No, listen, I lived it, man.
So it's funny because Deadline Hollywood put out an article suggesting that the recent disappointing box office news for this movie has to do with the fact that people were review bombing the film. Now, who could possibly be review bombing the movie because it has a positive score on Rotten Tomatoes, at least with the critics, but they're complaining. It didn't. But last time I checked, I don't even think the audience score was that bad. So who exactly is review bombing this movie that it affected the box office score?
How many people actually read that shit?
Well, that's the problem is most people read a headline, the sub-headline, and the first paragraph, which is what these motherfuckers are counting on, especially over at Penske Media. But look, all I want to tell you is I want to ease on down the road.
Penske? You mean Don Prudhomme drove for Penske in a AMC Javelin back in 1970?
Yes, but this is Penske Media. They own these motherfuckers.
Okay, I'm talking about Penske Racing. I only know
they also own Penske Racing. They won a freaking race today. They were so proud of it. I'm covering this tomorrow on the 6 Minute Daily that they made sure to cover it on all 3 of their trade papers in Hollywood.
As long as they put it on the side of their yellow trucks, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, but no, Jacob's 100% right. They're saying something fishy. No, something's not fucking fishy. What they're trying to say is the international audience said, eat a bag of dicks. We don't want to see this. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
But that's not the context of these articles.
You made a movie that only panders to black women in America, and then no one saw it, including the people in America. So who are we gonna blame here? Because we can't just take the L and say that, you know what, we built this entire marketing strategy on calling everyone racist, and somehow people didn't go watch our movie. We don't know what happened. Must have been their fault.
Actually, I think
Finland has a very large black population.
I think it'll be interesting to see the demographic breakdown when we get more of it, because we were just talking it over on BR's channel. And
what was
63% of the audience was not kids, actually. Like, it was a small portion of it were kids, and a big portion of the audience was like 35 to 45-year-olds. And love to see the breakdown of the demographic wise.
That's what I'm saying, Tom. I need you to get me an answer to something, because you are, all powerful. What's the cinema score for this film?
It's an A. Not an A plus though. And not an A minus. So it's kind of middle of the road.
No, A is good though.
It's good, but it's not great. Like, that's the thing. Cinema score works this way. See, a B plus for a cinema score is bad.
Oh yeah.
Like, once you get into the B percentile for a cinema score, that's horrible. And I know that sounds weird because you're like, well, that's still good. No, because this is the reactions that people coming right out of
at school.
Okay, but that's not where we're at, because everybody gets an A now. See, this is like everybody gets a trophy, so everybody gets an A.
Well, it's a very high level, like, because it's getting people as they're coming right out the theater. They don't have a chance to think about it and all that kind of business.
Let me put this in a visual context for you, Paul. A B is like being butt raped by a 12-dick walrus.
And a baboon at the same time.
Okay, so I know that. I'm familiar with that.
Okay, so there you go. This context.
He knows a lot of baboons.
Context.
So you want an A plus? That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, you really want an A plus. An A is not bad, but this is the kind of movie that should be getting an A plus.
It's a mediocre movie. That's
Well, that's what it
inoffensive.
sounds like, unfortunately.
So it's basically like any other Disney back movie that they put out there over the last how many years at this point. It's like they had nothing going into this. Their entire reason why this film exists is that we replace Ariel with a black woman, and that we're going to call anyone who disagrees with that decision racist. And then when the movie, any kind of controversy about this film goes, we'll just fall on racism. And it's like, yeah, that's not going to sell a $250 million movie. I'm sorry, like it's just not.
Disney wants to change the world. That's their mantra.
Mm-hmm. And the world is giving him the finger in return.
Well, they're going to persist until the world understands that Disney is right and the world is wrong.
Well, it's funny because you're leaning into the context of a video you still haven't seen because you're not a true fan of Midnight's Edge because you didn't.
No, I'm FNT all the way now. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, well, we could tell they they could not have been like chasing you down more than they were overly exuberant in their praise of you.
They were very nice. You think it was unfounded?
No, I think you're fucking awesome, jerk.
What? Whose phone doesn't understand?
Shut up, Alexa.
Yeah. Suck it, Alexa. No, dude. You had such a great showing on the show. It was amazing, dude.
And they were very nice to me.
Well, they like you. I mean, all of us are old. Well, a lot of us on that show would be old, but yeah.
I was one of the younger. I was one of the older ones on that show. They treated me with some respect. It was nice. Better than Gavin. That's all I'm happy.
Oh yeah, you were better than Gavin. That doesn't. Well,
that's not hard.
A low bar to set for yourself, bro.
That's a very low bar.
Yeah, I'm better than Gundam or something.
Yeah,
come on, bring your bar
up. My bar's so low, I have to dig it up in order to trip over it.
Wow.
Wow. You know what? I was on such a roll. I'm not going to go on the show again because I don't think I can duplicate it.
No, it was amazing. The thing is you managed to find that sweet spot of like firing on the cylinders that they were like lined up with. It was amazing. Did they tell you in advance how awesome you were, or no?
No. The one thing I did, which most guests don't do at all, is that I was curious about everybody on the panel, and I asked each of them questions that I was curious about.
Did you ask X-Ray Girl, just how many times she gets mistaken for, other people?
No, I did not ask X-Ray Girl. I didn't want to corner her, embarrass her. I think she wants to be on the outside, just checking the people coming in.
You know what? You would think that, Paul, but if you meet her in person, you're going to change your opinion.
She's great. No, she was. I mean,
she's incredible. She's
I used to be on FNT.
Yes, we know, Tom.
So no, she was great, but I didn't want to rope her in with any embarrassing questions. And I just asked everybody questions because I was curious about their backgrounds, which I think changed the tone of the show.
No, I think I mean, you were curious, and you weren't necessarily bi-curious. You're just regular curious, and that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, and I asked most everybody questions because there was stuff I thought they had expertise in, and I wanted to learn from them.
Yeah, Scott, when I hang out here, this is Sunday. Sunday is my day.
Read it before you. Let me read it, or you read it. One of the two.
Scott Westbrook for $5 says, "Who knew culture was so reserved?" I am. Look, truly, this is Sunday. Sunday's my day to cut loose. Ask Tom and ask Paul. Ask anybody you know. This is the day you get like full-throated, me shouting, me saying bad words, me saying,
He does send me dirty pictures of himself.
What's happening now? Dearest says
totally let loose.
Look at these amazing super chats. Dearest sends $10. Little Mermaid in the style of Pirates of the Caribbean placed off Port Royal using the earthquake that wiped out 1/3 of the city as a climax. Now that's a hell of a climax.
And the other thing too is that one of the memers, I didn't know about the Midnight's the FNT memers, where people were just posting memes on Twitter.
The Legion of Memers.
Legion. Yeah, the
Legion of Memers. And there was one. I don't know whether you guys saw it, but it was
a lot of them.
It was unbelievable and could not be shown.
Paul, I'm going to tell you some things. First of all, the people here get get memed regularly by the Legion.
Okay.
And when you are memed by the Legion, you are someone. You made it. You made it, Paul. You made it.
Yes, I felt made.
Where are you, Mikey? Get in here. Mike says,
Mike,
I hereby take credit for Paul's performance on FNT as well as his 100K plaque because I'm Paul's #1 minority fan.
I hate that.
Send check to my home address.
He
has a lovely home too.
He does. Well, geez, wow! Look at those manicured lawns. Only a Mexican.
Well, he makes sure he has a white guy come in and do that.
Oh no! He does it himself. We've had extensive conversations about his lawn care.
He hires himself because he's cheaper.
He says that on paper, but it's some white dude named Chuck. Hillis Mallory says, "Hello, everyone. How about that box office? Well, it was
not
too good.
Yeah,
not horrible, but not good."
Wait, so what was the box office?
Super
110, I think it was.
Well, they're trying to stretch it to that magical one.
I think 80 for the 3-day.
There it is. DVD done.
Wow.
Nice.
You know what? There are not that many people that have DVD burners anymore.
I still use them.
It's like you
I do. I got a Blu-ray burner that burns DVDs.
And nothing to do. Sorry. I did karaoke on.
You've been drinking again?
No, I did karaoke on Friday.
You're in just a good mood.
I am.
Justin B sends in 220 Canadian, eh? That's almost like a toonie.
Wow.
Says Paul made FNT watchable. Any Target jokes tonight?
I did have one today.
We'll stay on target.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the film.
I mean, I wasn't funny on FNT. Well, thanks.
Wow. Dude, you were on FNT for years. Go ahead.
Yeah, so they're bragging about the film made 185 million in 4 days. Not the typical 3-day weekend, but in the 4 days.
Yeah, because they're looking at tomorrow too.
Yeah. And then they're not gonna have a very long layover because Enter the Spider-Verse comes out this week, which is probably gonna kill it even further.
I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know. The first one didn't make that much. This one's twice as long.
Oh no! But it's
twice
not
as woke.
But you're cannibalizing your audience, bro.
To a point, yeah, but it's a different audience. Girls are going to see The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, all the girls that wanted to see Little Mermaid after tomorrow will have seen it.
But my point is I don't think Spider-Verse 2 is going to be as big of a deal as everybody thinks.
I don't think so either. I mean, and Miles Morales is Miles Morales.
And Spider-Verse 1 wasn't fantastic at the box office.
That's my point.
335?
About 335 altogether. This one might do about 500. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know about that.
That's an uphill battle still because, like I said, it's twice as long as the first one. That's
and then the next week, wait a minute. See, here's the weird thing. This is a poor set of windowing. I actually talked about this extensively today. You literally, Disney used to be good at windowing, right? And they would spread it out and they'd be able to predict, okay, we need 5 weeks for this film, 4 weeks for this film. And they didn't care what the rest of the industry did. They are so weak right now. The industry is overlapping them. Speaking
of overlap, somebody who's always overlapping his waistline, Steven.
Oh,
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes, you are.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello. Nice to see everyone
Later,
here.
guys. I'm going home.
Wow.
So welcome, Steven. But yes, you're not wrong, Culture, on that part, I guess, in that respect.
No. I feel like you're seeing a cannibalization of the audience for like the rest of the summer. And what's weird is they rushed to get these films out in like this particular order. And now they're going to cry into their beer because we're going to go into a period of time where we're COVID all over again because of these strikes. It's going to be bad, kids.
I actually want that.
Look,
though.
I'm gonna be straight with you. So we're about halfway part in for the year for movies. Do you know what my best movie that I've seen so far this year is?
What? Sisu?
No, Plane.
Tetris.
Gerard Butler.
I haven't seen that.
I heard it was great.
That's the best movie I've seen so far this year. And in context, that's not really a good thing because that's just how uneventful these first 6 months of the year has been as far as quality films.
I don't know. I thought there's been some great films, but not all of them have been in theaters or been short-lived in theaters, like Air. I loved Tetris. I loved Renfield. I loved Megan.
What was Michael J. Fox's?
Still,
that's
was
a documentary.
Good. Was that the documentary?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, but I just watched
Dungeons and Dragons the other night, and that was a hell of a lot better than I was expecting it to be, even from the people who said it was better than they were expecting it to be.
The best movie I watched was London's Masters of the Universe. That was the best.
Well, that's not hard to do.
Oh no,
So,
culture.
like,
great.
my top 3 so far this year have been Plane, The Covenant from Guy Ritchie, and John Wick 4.
Yeah.
See, and I'm gonna say I really enjoyed
What about Mario?
Wick 4, Super Mario Brothers, and Megan. You know, and Renfield. Look, Renfield was okay.
I will understand. I understand. That's going to be one of those movies that either plays or it doesn't play.
I'm
with
a
you. It all
horror,
depends
I'm
on
a
your
horror
taste.
guy.
Yeah.
I'm a horror guy,
Horror.
right? And this
He's
this
a horror
Soundbite
guy.
that, please.
and this film should have been in my wheelhouse, but there were so many misses on it. There was a lot of really good writing, creative like situations, the whole 9 yards.
See,
Things you want.
Andre
in
and I had
horror.
the opposite of that though. Culture. We loved it unapologetically.
Okay, well,
So, I
you
don't
need to
know.
apologize then.
No, I'm not gonna.
All right, fine.
Unapologetically, sir.
There's nothing really memorable this year except for like some of the titles everyone's mentioned. I think that's the problem. It's
That's right.
it's
Oh my
been-
God, the cock.
Oh my
I mean,
God, the Roosters.
There's only 2 movies that I'm hearing any real hype for this summer, and that's Mission Impossible and Oppenheimer. And then that's basically it. For the
Or do you
okay,
focus
not
on do you
wrong.
focus on the anime releases as well, like the anime motion pictures, like
Yeah, but
Demon
that's-
Slayer and stuff like that?
Not
Because
really.
that's something
Steven, the
culture.
No, I want to tell you,
Yes.
I like anime, okay,
Yeah.
but it's not a mass appeal audience thing,
Depends on the audience, I guess, too, right?
right? That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what you
I
consider.
got called a
anime,
nerd in
too.
Starship Troopers today because he made I went Darmak and Jalad at Tanagra, and he went nerd. I'm like, who's the bigger nerd? The one
The,
that called me one for knowing it? Or
The
not?
short run of part 3 of Demon Slayer
Right,
Yeah.
right.
did extremely well in
It
the
did.
theaters.
Mhm.
Well, I had to eat a little crow here because I was like, "Oh, there's no way that some of
there's-
these anime properties are
But
that."
you know
bad."
what? The movies I'm finding completely uninteresting. My 2 favorite things right now, one of them that just came out is a sitcom called Primo
Uh-huh.
that Paulie put me onto on Prime. It is the best show I've seen on streaming in years. And the other one is a German subtitled show called Cleo, which I absolutely love. It's just
See, and I like subtitle shows, so I'm going to check that out, right? But for the future, Tom, you need these are a few of Chado's favorite things or something like that. You need that bit.
Work on that. But I brought this up here because, like I said, I did have to eat a little bit of crow, not a ton, but a little bit. It depends on your definition.
Russell Crowe.
Russell's
I
Crowe.
Russell's Crowe. You're eating Russell's Crowe.
My
I wish
God,
I could
man.
see what I'm looking at right now.
I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to zoom in here. I just wanted
Yeah.
everybody to see how long this list was.
If you don't swallow, you're not gay.
Yeah,
That's
Pokemon
right.
makes sense.
If you get paid, it's not gay either. 25 highest grossing media franchise of all time.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is
so-
really instructive. Just
It
how
is.
big merchandising is.
So you got Pokemon at the top of most of the popmost. Like I said, it depends on your definition because some people might consider that anime, but it's more in the video game realm. $92.121 billion as a franchise as a whole.
Tom, it's not just video games; it's also a trading card game where they get
Yep.
their income. Films and the show
I
came
think that's
first.
on there.
and-
That's included.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all
You even
included
have
in
like
here.
grown men like spending
See,
hundreds
as you
of
see
dollars
here,
on
yeah,
Pokemon
you've
cards
got
now.
these colors here are what they're.
Yeah.
So that's this. That the box office is that little green thing right
Mhm.
there. The rest of this, the big yellow, is merchandising. As Yogurt
yeah.
said, that's where the real money's made.
Hello Kitty is just
Huge.
just backpacks.
No movies, no other entertainment
Nothing,
stuff, nothing.
Just backpacks.
Look
It's
at
those
that.
fluffy
Vinyl.
pillows you see on streamers'
Yeah.
back ends when they're on doing their asthma. It's just lines of pillows. That's what it is. It's all that.
It's brilliant. Winnie the Pooh. Look
Winnie
at
the
that.
Pooh. Well, Winnie the Pooh is big with babies, right? Like a lot of baby
Yep.
stuff is Winnie the Pooh.
Except in
Winnie
China.
the Pooh tucking
Same thing with Mickey Mouse. Yes.
jumpers.
Jumpers. Yes. Then of course Star Wars, which actually
Mickey
has
Mouse.
one of the
Look at
bigger
that,
ones of
Mickey
the
Mouse.
big, but that's merchandising again is the main
No,
thing.
I know that, but they're losing that. That's got to be plummeting.
Yeah.
A little bit, I would think. But once we get to Star Wars, that's the first time we see anything where the movies have played any significant role. But again, it's still
And
The
and this
merchandising.
as of what date? What's the date of this chart?
this is brand new, I think.
Is it?
Source, Title Max. I don't have a date on it.
Because no one is buying Star Wars merch.
Well, this actually has to be newer because Star Wars was higher on this list. It wasn't number 3.
Okay.
And it fell to number 5.
Okay.
Put the link in the chat for us, please, so I can take a look at that.
Sorry, what was that?
Okay.
Can somebody in the chat do our job for us?
No, can you put that link in the private chat, please, so I can see that?
What, this thing?
Yeah, so I can see the date, because that's crazy. Like, Hello Kitty's been around quite a while. It's weird seeing it.
It doesn't have any dates on it from what I can see. It's just a picture I got.
Okay.
I've seen this. It's really quite fascinating.
Yeah, and then you got Pan Man, which is a manga I've never heard of.
I've never heard of that either.
$60 billion fucking dollars it's made.
Yeah, is that like a Japanese thing? Like, is it
says
big
manga
here in the
it's gotta
States?
be. I have no idea. But yeah, then you get to Disney princesses. And this is primarily like merchandising, costumes, and whatnot.
I got asked the question today, who was my favorite Disney princess, and I answered Lizzie McGuire because I didn't know any. So
you know what? That's not a bad one.
Yeah, and this was clearly just before the
Lizzie McGuire show is actually fantastic.
This is actually at least before the Mario movie came out because we have the Mario here.
No, it's a very hip show.
There's no movies there. The only movie there is the one from 1993. So
it's still a good movie. I like it. It's funny.
So you could add money to this one now.
Yeah.
And then this is another one I never heard of, Shonen Jump.
That's anime again. That would be like, I guess, like My Hero Academia, fucking.
Well, like I said, I had to eat a little crow on this, guys. I mean, I totally did.
I remember reading Shogun Jump in like 7-Eleven like 23 years ago.
I'll send this to
I think it's the
Steven
same
private.
thing. Thank you. You sent me your file address, which is not.
I know that
on my
didn't work.
computer.
I know. I kind of figured that wasn't going to work for you.
Thanks. Harry Potter, I thought would be higher up, though. I guess it's going to start growing, but it has the biggest diverse of colors, though.
But in terms of length of period of time,
you said length.
Yeah, I mean,
period.
And Pan Man is 1973, and Harry Potter is 1997. So
True. But look at how diverse Harry Potter is compared to the rest of them, too, though.
Damn, Spider-Man's beating Batman.
Yeah,
look how colorful.
There's a lot of bigoted Harry Potter fans out there.
Can you scroll back up to the top real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so Pokemon makes sense.
Hello Kitty makes sense. It does.
It does. Hello Kitty makes sense. Winnie the Pooh makes sense. Because it's been around for a billion
Same
years.
thing with Mickey. Yeah. For years, Mickey was like one of the few licensed.
1928, guys. I mean, consider how much money that's had all along. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 70 billion's not bad. Star Wars coming in at 65, and Disney managed to eliminate its interest just in a matter of a couple of years. So, yeah.
I mean, if somebody wants to do the math on the movies, I mean, if they have all the Star Wars movies, we kind of have an idea when this is. For some reason, I think this is 2022, but I mean,
all 6 of them.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, the 6 movies.
Oh, and then we get down to the MCU, which is separated from Spider-Man, so keep that in mind. But that is,
they don't own Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, but also Spider-Man is huge.
Sony owns Spider-Man.
Yeah. And because as you see here, you got 29 billion, 27 billion. Spider-Man right behind it is almost as big as the franchise as a whole.
Yep.
Then you got Gundam, which is an anime, of course.
Yep. Wow, we're coming up on public available.
Batman took a slip down because Batman used to be bigger than Spider-Man a couple of years back, and now he's slipped down a little bit.
Well, and you blame Zack Snyder, but I'm going to get some hate. But anyway, no. But roll down to this idea. Batman is going to be publicly available real soon.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that also with some of the Looney Tunes and the Mickey Mouse characters as well? I think that
even sooner than them, I believe. Yeah. And then you got Dragon Ball Z, which no surprise there. That's a big franchise.
Got a boost with that Dragon Ball Super and all their games like Kakarot RPG and as well as the Xenoverse. Yeah.
59.
Here's one this is why I say don't underestimate this movie this year.
Yeah.
No, look, you know what, Tom? I'm starting to feel that right now. That energy's out there. I have to see this movie because somebody paid me a super chat to go see it. So I'm gonna have to fly Paul Chato into the country so he can watch it with me.
I'll go with you.
And I need somebody to go with me. I don't want to be the only straight man in this theater.
Just wear a rainbow
you don't
colored
want to
shirt.
be the only 60-year-old dude at a Barbie.
Look at this already. Barbie has already generated over $1 billion in home media sales.
Yeah, because all those
straight to video
cartoons.
movies.
Yeah,
I know.
God,
that's pretty impressive, though.
Some Gundam figures are metal, but there's also the snap-on models as well for people who don't want to use the metal ones. So there is a bunch of market as well as you got the knockoff stuff. So yeah, Gundam's pretty big.
Yeah, and then you got Fist of the North Star, which is another manga. Again, more Crow for me. Cars, not surprised, especially with toys. Look at all that merchandising there, big time.
And then here they actually killed this franchise.
I can't believe that Cars is outgrossing Toy Story, though. That's crazy.
I can.
Lightyear killed it.
Yeah, I wonder if Lightyear's on there, but even still, that's not.
It's not. Lightyear's probably not included in this, but
even still, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Cars could have been an enormous universe.
Well, it kind of was. It played its part. It could make a comeback again.
By the way,
Cars is evil because it's purely attractive to boys.
Wrong.
Yep.
Wrong. That is so wrong. Chicks dig Cars.
Well, he's not wrong.
That's not.
Well, culture. I'm not saying there's not. Okay.
Gates because of my car.
No.
And tutus attract men.
I get what Paul's saying. You're not going to see that one-tooth truck poster on any girl's walls.
Okay, I'll give it. Here's my point. Here's his point. Culture. Let me say this. Here's his point. Like, you go to Star Wars toys. You have 20 kids. Okay, 3 out of those 20 kids, girls will buy a toy of Star Wars, right? That's probably fair, right? No. Cars, on the other hand, you're lucky if 1 out of 20 of those toys that are bought are a girl.
Yeah.
Paul, walk into Cars Land in Disney's California Adventure and tell me who's flipping out the most over that land. It's an even 50-50 split.
I don't know about that.
I'll take your word for it, but I find it hard.
I'm not saying chicks don't dig Cars culture, but they're not old enough yet in this range to care.
Unless it's an Oriental girl that's positioned herself on the hood of Mater.
Toronto Car Show. Hello.
Yeah, Toronto Car Show. That's what we need. What was the car's name? Mater.
Tow Mater.
I'm willing to bet that more girls are interested.
That's right.
In
Unless
Godzilla.
it's some Oriental girl in a tight bikini plastered all over the hood of Tow Mater, then
Mater's towing. Yeah, played by. Who's it played by? That cable guy.
Larry the Cable Guy.
I think people are getting hyped at the idea of what Barbie is rather than the reality of what they're going to do with it, which
maybe not.
No, I will say
I'll tell you this, though. I listen to the banter of the girls in the Toxic Femme chat every time something from Barbie's dropped. They are all over this movie. So
it has the same effect Mario does, but in a different aspect. So I think it will
very much. Yes.
I think that's a good observation. I think that's a very clever observation.
It's pretty much the physical form of Mario, if you want to look at it that way, but for girls, and that's why Barbie's been successful.
Yes.
Toy Story jumped the shark after Toy Story 3.
Well, yeah, clearly.
There's a lot of anime on this list. I'm actually impressed. Even just seeing Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm surprised too. Yes,
massive, right?
One Piece you got
One
here.
Piece is what 900 episodes or more right now.
Yeah, and
it's
Lord of the
technically
Rings
bigger than Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about this. Lord of the Rings has been artificially suppressed because until Peter Jackson's adaptations, there wasn't something that was broadly appealing. Because even the animations that were presented to us,
that Hobbit
in
movie
the form
was
of
scary.
media, were somewhat withered, right? And it was very niche. I mean, it took like Led Zeppelin to kind of bring it into the zeitgeist here in the United States.
Well, I know at one point, culture, it was second only to the Bible.
This is true. Well, no, that's different. This is we're looking strictly at merchandise sale, correct?
Does anyone still look at the old Hobbit movie?
Has books in it too.
Does anyone look at the old Hobbit movie cartoon one where like Bilbo had the giant eyes and it was really creepy?
I love it.
Yeah, the Rankin and Bass one.
That's what I love.
I never liked them. Never liked them.
Yeah, well,
I liked the Hobbit, but that was about it.
Yeah. You know what, Paul? Maybe you aren't going to get to watch Barbie with me now.
Let's keep moving on here. Because we got James Bond here, which I'm surprised is actually down this far on the chart.
Can I ask a question? How is Title Max ranked here? I don't understand what this is.
I don't know.
How are they ranked on this?
I don't know. Look it up. There's your thing right there.
So the launched on
media Title Max. I don't know about that.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Then is at the next one in line, and then surprising one in here, but not surprising at the same time. Peanuts, because they got a lot of merchandise.
Remember
they've been around
when that was a thing?
Yeah,
I still do. Woodstock's awesome, bro, and so is
well. what made Pokemon so famous is what they actually say in this article is remember when Pokemon Go came out and that was the mobile augmented reality game where you have to go to gyms, capture stuff on your phone and everything like that. I think it was done through Niantic. That's the only reason why I think it's
Pokemon has always been like a juggernaut as far as like gaming goes.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, they're still putting out Pokemon games 25 years later. So
yeah, I'm surprised Digimon didn't get the same type of push either.
And Transformers, they lucked out to get above He-Man and TMNT just because neither of them have had movies in the last few years.
Well, you can blame Kevin Smith for He-Man not getting there.
Yeah, the problem with Digimon is that Digimon never took off as far as merchandising goes. That was where they always struggled.
That is kind of true. Yeah, the show was a lot better than the actual.
And I just say that because TMNT and Masters of the Universe were always bigger than Transformers and G.I. Joe were. But G.I. Joe depends on how you figure it. You figure which lines, because that didn't even make this list either. So, kind of interesting.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
The first couple seasons after that and all the spin-offs, it got kind of weird. I'm sorry, I stopped after the God Beasts.
I never enjoyed Yu-Gi-Oh!
All I know about Yu-Gi-Oh! is at one point people were driving motorcycles while doing, and I just like...
No, I stopped before that. No. I'm out of
I just did a play off of Rufio, and you guys didn't even appreciate it.
I got it. Clone on Clone Crime says, craziest thing is Pokemon has only been out since 96. Yeah, it's past my time, but I couldn't believe how big of a deal it was when it came out. It was just like, wow.
It just took over.
I gave up on Pokemon after Gold and Silver, and I was like, okay, I'm out. Then it's like 22 years later, it's still going.
Yeah, General Sod sends in £5 and says, I'm too drunk and tired to contribute, but hey, all. Well, hello. Says, how about that big news of the week, eh? What was it again? Cool to see Chato on FNT, by the way. Yeah.
That was a great show.
Actually, the show used to be about kind of a wrap-up of the news of the week, but now it's like we almost avoid it. Ever since Paul and Robert kind of came on those early shows, it was just more like, well, we're just going to talk about whatever comes up, and it seems to be more like just lackadaisy. We don't. I like not having an agenda or having to.
Yeah, people are complaining that I'm not as crazy on Midnight's Edge versus what I was on FN2.
I would argue that you're always crazy.
Well, this is where you can let loose. Or we need to get you on Mead as well. See, Mead is where we really let loose. See, Andre likes to keep it a bit more rigid. Yes.
My late night show is where we get loose.
Well, yeah, if you want to hang out on that one too, you can get let loose. To our
loose,
comics division.
He plays one video for every 500 super chats.
Thursday night can get pretty nuts on comics division as well. Waltman says,
whatever show lets me drop hard R, that's the show I'm going on, baby.
You can do whatever you want. You are the right color. I'm not.
Yeah, you can.
One minor problem with Indy 5. No matter how many cards I got, I can't drop that shit.
Yeah.
No matter what. Waltman says one minor problem with Indy 5 is that some, like my dad, are still annoyed with how Crystal Skull was handled and checked out. I'm surprised to hear that because I mean, I'm not surprised, but I'm also surprised at the same time.
No, I look. My dad is like
because there was a lot of older people that were just like, whatever, I don't care. It's an Indiana Jones movie.
Not digging it in the future. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna be right back. I have things.
Yeah, go pee.
No,
this one's for you anyway.
Go find your
Mr.
catheter.
Tickle Trunk says, I do the Rufio song in my head every time someone says Yu-Gi-Oh. Thanks, Culture. Now it's going to stick there again, you jerk.
Rufio.
He's going to go take a Rufio.
Wait. Isn't that the theme song for Bill Cosby? Rufio.
Yeah.
Rufio.
Rufio in your pudding pop.
This GHB pudding tastes funny.
What they're hipping and the hopping and the bipping and the bopping.
The hipping and the bopping and the concussion and the flopping.
That's why I give them a pill.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the white guys doing black impressions. That's my favorite.
That's our card.
I grew up doing Eddie Murphy impressions, for fuck's sake.
Well, I'm sorry for you.
That's
I'm not. I got a lot of. Even the teachers encouraged it. That's what's scary. Like, damn, he sounds just like him. Not only that, he knows all the words.
I was
even
doing
the bad ones.
I was doing Lenny Bruce impressions.
Well, see, that's like a little generational difference.
Absolutely.
I did some
Thundercats.
I did Chris Rock bits. I did George Carlin bits. I did, it didn't matter. I even did some Howie Mandel bits and Pauly Shore bits. I didn't care. I just loved comedians when I was a kid.
Was Lenny Bruce the one?
I even was accepting of Pauly Shore, Paul. That's how much I love comedians as a kid.
Was Lenny Bruce the one with the Thundercats and the chocolate milk and not letting his grandma in the house?
No.
No, Lenny Bruce was back in the day, man. He was.
Who am I thinking of?
I don't care.
I have no idea who the hell you're thinking of. Lenny Bruce was back in the.
No,
Lenny Bruce got arrested how many times, Paul? For
1,000 times.
A lot.
Yeah,
I just
dude,
gave it a stereotype.
He's one of the guys who fought the First Amendment hardcore.
he
which
really
one I'm
did.
thinking
So there's a great show,
Wrong one.
Stephen, that you need to watch. It's called The Marvelous Miss Maisel.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, go watch that. Lenny Bruce appears. Well, obviously not him, but the character. There's a character that plays Lenny Bruce, or an actor that plays Lenny Bruce. It's genius, and it'll give you
Oh my
appreciation for him as a comedian.
I got the whole race mixed up. I was
Well-
thinking of Bell Crawford.
Oh wow, that's a way difference. Yeah, like Lenny Bruce invented. Mr. Tickle Trunk has a point. I don't know about invented, but he invented modern stand up. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, he
between him and
he pointed at society all the time, and just
say George Carlin, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, he pointed at society all the time, and used it kind of used it as a mirror so that you would look at yourself in a funny way. It was amazing.
Wait, he was played by Lenny Bruce. Yeah, okay. He was played by
Dustin
Luke Kirby,
Hoffman.
right?
Dustin Hoffman did a movie
Correct.
about him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lenny Bruce is genius. Yeah.
Yeah, he had his good moments and his bad. I've seen quite a bit of his routines.
Oh yeah, that's way before my time.
Pryor's also another one that belongs on that Mount Rushmore of creating modern.
Dude, oh man,
comedy,
Pryor, fucking
Yep.
Harlan.
I mean, I hate to say it, Bill Cosby too, but he fucking did.
Oh,
Do you know what the weird part is? Bill
Cosby was the guy that all the other comedians wanted to fucking be. He was the Beatles of comedians. That's the sad
Yeah,
part.
but the weird thing is, Tom, he has all those parenting books out now. You don't know whether you can trust his
have
source
one.
material now. So do I. My parents
he
have
didn't.
one.
Well, no, he probably was a good dad. He was just he tried to
He's
fuck
just a
everything.
horrible husband at the end of the day, and a man
Yeah.
really. When it
Well, now it
boils
needs like a
down to it.
warning on his books, right?
Well, which is sad because he would go out and he would actually mentor a lot of young black men, and he would tell them, you know, how this system works, and it's because of him, like that. Will Smith, for instance, did so well with Fresh Prince.
Yeah, he taught a lot of those guys not to work blue, right? Because you know,
Well, not just that, but how to make money, right? Because he goes, these guys are going to screw you over because you're a black man. Make sure you get this, and that in your contract, and make sure you get these, and that points, and you're this producer, and you got this kind of control. Otherwise, they're going to take you for a fucking ride, kid.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of shit he'd tell him, and because of that, Will Smith is one of the most famous and financially successful black men in the 90s.
Isn't it weird that he actually that Cosby contributed to the cucking of Will Smith then?
I don't think he taught Will Smith how to slap, though.
I don't know if he has anything to do with that part, but what happened was Will Smith, after his first two albums, guess what? He was broke. He went and spent all his money. So he was broke. He needed something, and that's why he did Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Otherwise, he would have never done it. He didn't want to act.
Does Mitch Hedberg fall into the like great comedians? Because I think he does.
Yeah, he does. Well,
Yeah,
and right.
You know what? I have some weird favorite acts. One of my favorite is Mom's Mabley.
No, she's fine. Yeah,
Absolute. Oh my God, she was laugh out loud funny. And Dick Gregory, I went to see him live.
Oh yeah, Dick Gregory. Yeah.
And
what about Newhart?
Newhart, I saw him.
He was almost like the white Bill Cosby for a while.
He was.
The
button down.
I know,
line.
but they were like that famous.
We have
right?
that
Like
album. We actually have that album in my house right now. The Button Down Mind.
I lent that to my teacher, and she never gave it back.
I'm so sorry. You want to see a copy of it? Because I'll go grab it real quick.
I think I have an extra vinyl lying around. My dad has like over 200 of them.
But there's just people that Toadie Fields, no one talks about. She was hilarious. Joan Rivers, of course, legendary.
Yeah, and then she was she was no longer with us after she pointed something fairly obvious out.
Yep.
I listened to my Wild and Crazy Guy album so much from Steve Martin.
Oh,
that you
dude,
can barely
Martin.
understand it anymore. It's so badly. Just
But boy, Bill Cosby was a very important part of my
He was
comedic upbringing.
Hey, I actually went. Now, mind you, I lived in a community or an area at the time when I was going to high school that had a lot of LDS folks, right? Not LSD, LDS, and I went on a hayride for like October with like a group of people, and I was just doing stand up like forever, like on that hayride to entertain people because it was boring as F. And I was reorganizing jokes from people like Cosby and others. and then I would rephrase things that were rather blue. I had a lot of fun, but the Cosby was the guy that everybody could love. It wouldn't matter what color you were.
Well, and that's the thing that reminds me of like Memorial Day weekends, right? Because that's this weekend, and I apologize to the fellow Canadians on the panel here. You don't really celebrate it,
Bite me.
You know, it's just that was the thing. We'd get together, and it was always the first. When I was a kid, it was the first weekend we'd go camping, and I always remember like we'd always have music and stuff playing. But one time, you know, once in a while it would just stop, and we'd always have like Bill Cosby playing or something like that. You know, normally it was Bill Cosby or George Carlin, you know, in that kind of a range. Newhart was another one that we would play once in a while until
Victor Borga.
But it was, and everybody would just sit and listen and laugh. You know, it was a family thing, sitting around the fire.
You know, you snuck in the Red Fox album, the one that
was usually later on we throw on some Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor or Red Fox.
My grandpa, one of my grandpas, would put Red Fox on, and my grandma would lose her mind because the kids are here. It was funny as hell, and it was just great, so great.
And there was Peter Cook and Dudley Moore did a filthy album called Clive and oh my God, it's just the filthiest.
I think
album.
I know what you're talking about.
Derek and Clive.
Derek and Clive, yeah.
That's right. That's right.
You know what's funny though?
That's a dirty job. I used to have to pull lobsters out of Jane Mansfield's bum. Lovely girl, lovely girl, but the huge fucking lobsters up her ass. I mean, Christ Almighty! And I had to pull them out of her ass. Jeez, and that's clean sketches.
It's funny though, because the only one that you can't really the album does not do justice to. There's one comedian that the albums we'd play once in a while when I was a kid.
Winters, sorry.
But no, the one guy you just had to see at least on video usually, and it had to be Robin Williams because he was a force of fucking nature, and you had to be able to see him perform while he's doing it, or you don't get the right.
Yeah.
Because I have like a couple of his albums, and I'm like, these do not do justice to the video, right? I got a lot of his performances.
I got to meet him twice, and that's all I cared about, man. That was the best weeks of my life.
Don't know how his mind worked. I can't understand it. He made connections. Now I like to do that. I like to make connections between things. But he would make connections. He'd lead you down a road, then he'd bring it all back, and you'd be at the end of the joke. You'd be like, "Oh shit!"
If you have a chance,
good.
If you have a chance, YouTube has it. It's the compilation of every time Robin Williams was on Craig Ferguson. It is one of the best compilations you'll ever see.
Really?
Then it was numerous times. It's crazy. I watched
Craig Ferguson.
You do?
Yeah, I hate him.
Williams makes it better.
I'll watch it. I met
for some reason. I thought you were talking about Craig Kilborn. I was like, wait, why?
Yeah, I was thinking Craig, but no, I don't mind Craig Ferguson so much. But I know you've told the story about when you met Robin before.
Yeah, I've met him. He's a very sweet guy. Really nice guy. Very talented.
You're not going to get him like that anymore. There's no one there.
I don't know. Nobody thinks like that. Nobody thinks like that anymore.
No one is.
Well, and he was the guy where everybody else would do like 60-minute sets, 45-minute sets. Fuck that. Robin Williams would do 90-minute, 2-hour fucking stand-up sessions.
No, that was actually the joke. Mm-hmm. That was the joke in the comedy clubs, right? When he showed up like randomly and just walked on stage, that was it. All the rest of the comedians would be like, well, we're done for the night.
And he didn't really write a lot. I mean, he tried a lot of stuff out, but he didn't really have a set like a lot of people.
He walked out there.
He's been everywhere. He's been, like I said, Craig Ferguson. I don't want to get the Chatto angry again or anything.
No, that's okay.
But he was on Whose Lines Is It Anyway? Yeah, he was on Whose Lines Is It Anyway as well with Drew Carey. He was everywhere.
His Carson stuff just destroyed all. Johnny would just shut up because there's nothing to add.
Everyone shut up when Rob Williams talked because it was nonstop entertainment. Because it's one of those things like when he goes, you're getting a show because you might not be able to make any show. It was just pure energy, and you felt like you were given more.
Look up his bit on Dame Edna's show.
Yeah. Oh my God!
Wow!
It is so painfully funny, and there's Barry. Barry, what's his name, playing Dame Edna, trying to take
who just recently passed, didn't he?
Trying to take control back of his show, like
his
Barry Humphries.
His live on Broadway, where he was literally talking about breast implants. I think it was in New York, where the ladies turn one way and the breasts stay here because I'm walking.
Well, real quick, because Southern Viking, I'm going to shatter your illusion. 99% of what you saw with Carlin was so completely rehearsed and scripted.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. I mean,
Carlin was like the opposite. He was so precise.
Everything.
But that was his style.
It wasn't. I'm not trying to.
No. It's like, yeah, but that's a great analogy, Lil. Like, Robin Williams was like jazz, right? Carlin was more like classical music, to where he was very precise. You knew the tune was, and every time he would do it, it was probably exactly the same as the last time.
But some of it, his wordplay had to be done in his style, like
exactly.
I mean, the only way you could do that is have it rehearsed.
Yeah,
you have the words in the correct order. And then he would get on a roll, like, that was his genius. I mean,
great examples like football versus baseball. Listen to that bit.
Exactly. Like, he would structure everything. It's alliteration.
Yes.
His tempo.
Yes.
It all had to be exactly the same. In fact, if you went to a performance on Monday night in Vegas, and you went to a performance on Thursday night in Vegas, you got exactly the same thing.
Show.
Every single time.
There are two comedians here that I'm going to throw in there, and you guys can probably hate me for it. I do enjoy Dana Carvey's stand-up, especially the more recent ones. It's actually really good.
Great.
Yeah. And Kevin Pollock, when you see his compilations for his impersonations, those two are great.
As long as you didn't say Dane Cook, you're okay.
Who?
Yes, he's in my list of ones I hate. That's when
he's not funny.
That's when comedy started going south. Yes.
He tried to imitate Carlin by reproducing these conversations with these stories that he tried to make funny with exaggerated movements and everything else. And then you just got to a point where you're like going, oh God, I feel like you worked really, really hard to get to that. I mean, it was like you got to.
He was hugely successful, stealing other people's material.
Who did the comedy roast on the Comedy Central? Who was that?
The newer ones?
Yeah, the newer ones. Who? What was his name? Jeff Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Ross had good
funny.
ones too. Yeah, he is. He's really good, especially when he did the comedians versus comedians show. If you ever got a chance to see that,
we got to bring up Dangerfield because everybody's brought him up in the chat.
Of course, he gets no respect.
Have I told my favorite Rodney Dangerfield story to you guys?
Ladybugs?
When he was on Caddyshack. Because he had never made a movie before. It was his first movie ever. So he's on set his first day, and he goes up to the one kid who plays one of the caddies, and he's like, I'm bombing, Kim. I'm bombing you. I don't know what's wrong. Nobody's laughing. And he's like, they can't laugh, Rodney. He's like, what do you mean they can't laugh? It's like, if they laugh, they ruin the take. Oh, well, why didn't you tell me that in the first place?
It was so good. Rickles would kill people. He was so funny. Oh,
there was this female comedian. She was very prominent on Just for Laughs, and she had a way of delivering a line, then she would whisper the actual joke underneath, and she would do it all the time. No, it wasn't Goldie Hawn. This one would be like, I left my kids in the car, but it was in the ocean, and stuff like that.
Judy Tenuta?
I think that might be it. But like, you know what I'm talking about? Where they talk very level voice, like, and then they whisper the joke or anything. Mine takes me.
Tenuta.
That shit was so good.
I just remembered an important part of that story. I forgot. While he was, because it's the first scene he did, is the scene where he comes in and Judge Smale is in the golf shop. He's like, I'll take 2 of those, I'll take 12 of those, and I'll take 1 of those. And look at his hat. His hat is, the whole hat bit.
Right.
Well, the other thing is people started leaving. So he's like, I'm bombing. They're leaving. They don't like my set. He's like, Rodney, they have to leave. And he's because they were off the set laughing their ass off because you were you were so good in the scene. You were killing it. So
And then what's funny is he metamorphized at that point, so that when he got to doing his own films, like Back to School and stuff like that, there was you had actual people that were supposed to be on the set leaving, like grips were leaving, people were just because they couldn't deal with the fact that he was just crushing it. He was great.
The Kinnison bit was one of the more amazing ones in Back to School. Like, speaking of a stand-up comedian,
I have a Henny Youngman story.
Go ahead.
So when I was producing some shorts for Just for Laughs Comedy Festival at CBC Montreal, and so I got to go to the airport a bunch of times and come back with the comedians and all sorts of personalities like Chuck Jones from Warner Brothers, from the Looney Tunes. I mean,
Yeah.
people like that. It was great.
Yeah.
So one time we went and picked up Henny Youngman, and by this time he was quite old. His wife Rose had died. So I'm in the limo with him, and all he's saying in the limo all the way in from the airport was, "I don't know why my agent keeps booking me to do these things. I'm tired. I don't want to do it anymore. Rose is dead. I really have no reason to do this. They've just booked me so long. I have no choice but to, do all these, finish all these bookings off." And it was just this incredibly depressing thing. And then he got on stage, and you're only supposed to do like 5-10-ish minutes. And as soon as the light hit, it was Henny Youngman, like bang,
wow,
bang. And it was, "I got my violin. Let's take my wife." Da, 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 da. And he kept on going. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And John Candy finally had to grab him and take him off stage. But it was really neat to see him come to life when the spotlight hit him. It's such a joy.
It's probably like a drug, man. I got to imagine.
He's a professional.
Well, right, like once you hear that first laugh, it's
correct.
like you're back.
Correct,
like
you're
riding
back,
a bike.
you're doing it, and that was really neat. So I mean, it was like horrible listening to him on the way in, but it was nice to see his.
There is a shout out though, Pete Holmes, and if anyone's watched College Humor, the Batman parody, Pete Holmes does the Batman.
Yeah, he's pretty good on that. That's part of the inspiration for Bat Tom, actually. But yeah.
Can I suggest that happens as you get older, though?
What else?
Like no. Like with Henny Youngman, you're so separated from stuff that you're like, I don't know why I'm still doing this. I don't know why people. I don't know.
Then when the moment you hit that stage, though, and that, like you said, you hear that first laugh,
and then it's like a stick of dynamite. It's like boom, because the fuse gets
dude. That's me every morning on the morning show.
Oh, let me know. Wait.
I get up, I drag myself to the computer. I'm just like, why do I do this to myself?
This is going to be an obscure reference to the two people watching us, but the Sunshine Boys. If you see the movie, the Neil Simon's movie, and they've got
Walter Matthau and
Walter
George
Matthau,
Burns, isn't it?
Walter Matthau, when they go to do the TV show, and he gets together with his old partner, and he goes into the CBS show, and he's going to do his old vaudeville show routine, and he undermines his own vaudeville show that he does with his partner, right? And that would never happen. And I learned that from the Henny Youngman incident, where he played it for laughs on camera, but that's too meta. As soon as the light went on, the two guys should have just gone into the routine that they knew, that they were used to, that they were able to execute like a piece of finely tuned machinery, and then argue later on. I found that segment completely unreal because
I get what you're saying. It's
that's
been
not
years
what
since I saw
professionals
it,
do.
Now, there's another one here. I think I can throw the table. His Mr. Bean, also known as Rowan Atkinson. Let's not focus on Mr. Bean. Has anyone seen Rowan Atkinson's like skit special he had, like where he's calling the kids names and saying,
I've seen some of his other stuff.
Blackadder, like that's.
I even wrote some stuff for him.
Oh,
you
nice.
did?
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, you forget how cool Paul is, don't you?
No, I don't. I just don't overestimate people. That's
He
what
was
his story
actually
is.
an Ewok. Don't forget that too.
Hey,
Really?
let's play drop the sack.
Oh wow,
Yeah, and the Aminated Shield.
Emanated.
Aminated.
Cha-cha.
Chuck.
Tonight.
That was the main character.
Wicket.
Wicket was, yeah.
And I was Wicket's best friend.
But you only did the first season, is what we established, because I asked you about the second, and you're like, no, I don't remember coming back for the second season. Yeah.
How wicked are you?
Well, they gave the show a complete overhaul in the second season. It was more like they turned it and aimed it towards girls in the
That
second
theme
season. for some
song.
reason.
Yeah, that theme song was still kind of creepy. It was like a whisper, like
The original one was cool.
Yeah, I remember that one. Like Droids was my favorite too. Like we don't get intros like that anymore. And I never did a full version of it. You have to like rip it from YouTube video.
All I know is we're gonna make more than Little Mermaid this weekend.
So they didn't have you do any voices for droids at the same time while you
No,
were there?
I did not. I only did I only did the.
I'm surprised you only did one voice because I know usually with the voice thing, because this is when I looked into it too. Is like,
they
you
had
can
money,
do up
I
to two
guess.
voices. You can do up to 2 voices on the guild thing in one episode.
I guess.
There's one that did pass, and if anyone has caught his stand up, and I still love it, it's Richard Jenny. Richard Jenny was really good too.
I remember Richard Jenny.
He starred with Jim Carrey in The Mask. He was his best friend in that one. Jenny had some great stand up if you can find it. Yeah.
Tommy Slayton was one of my favorite, most dirty comics around. Actually, one of the funniest comics, Bobcat Goldthwait, was very fast on his feet.
Jenny had a great skit about the golf course. If you saw Michael Jackson come out of the bushes going, hee, what the hell was that? Smacks him with the club.
I always thought was funny was the Bobcat. Speaking of Bobcat Goldthwait versus Sam Kinison thing. Yep.
Yeah, you can't hear
it.
That's the song. That's the song.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the first season one. Yeah.
Yeah. That was around the time of Gummy Bears still as well, right? Too. And like, we had like Tailspin.
Not Gummy Bears. The
Care Bears.
Care Bears.
Yeah. Care Bears were big
I
then.
hated that show.
And the same Nelvana did both of them, and the artists hated Care Bears.
But yeah, did you know?
Did they do Teddy Ruxpin?
Did they do Teddy Ruxpin? I think they did.
Yeah,
might have.
Yeah, Nelvana did. And the Nelvana, after I did a year's worth of the Ewoks, the cartoonists who liked me, especially with the Frantics, gave me a compilation sketchbook of all the different Care Bears and Ewoks that they did medical illustrations of.
You were telling me this, yeah.
They ripped them apart, opened them up like the Mengele's book,
like cut in half and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was like Grey's Anatomy of Ewoks and Care Bears, where they pinned the skin back onto pieces of wood and shit.
Now, did they own the Care Bears? Who owned the Care Bears? Because that was huge at that time, and I remember like the movies and stuff.
I don't know who did that.
Did you, Paul? Did you ever do anything with not the Snoggies, but remember the raccoons? It was usually on right before Disney. The raccoons
I was like anything with them, but I know the raccoons.
That was a little earlier. Yeah,
I think that was out of Montreal.
Yeah, I think I was gonna say. I think that was Canadian. Yeah,
it was Canadian. Yeah, it was pretty much like environmentalist without being environmentalist.
Sinar, I think it was Sinar.
I do remember it though. But yeah, does anybody else know about the Bobcat Goldthwait versus Sam Kinison thing?
No,
you didn't know that those two went after each other?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it actually started on this Howard Stern show, I believe, because Bobcat accused Sam of stealing his shtick. He's like, he just sits out there, goes out there and screams. He's like, he's just stealing my shtick, because back then it was when Bob was still doing the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Bobcat.
Yeah, he do that whole thing. And Howard got them together on the phone, and they were going off on each other and shit. It was fucking crazy.
Must have been funny.
Yeah, they never reconciled, from what I know.
Well, I didn't. That's very different routines.
And I thought so too.
Very different.
Yeah, My Pet Monster, Care Bears. There was also Denver the Last Dinosaur. We had Silverhawks back then. There was Cops.
Yeah.
The wonderful Frankenstein show, that was great. What was the name of the show? For Channel 11,
you're killing me here. I can remember Mummy's Alive, but that's not it.
Oh well,
let it go.
No, that was Frozen.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I don't remember a Frankenstein one. I think I would. Mr. Tickle Trunk says, "Oh, go ahead."
It wasn't Frankenstein, was it, or was it actually animated? Because I know
it was live. The Hilarious House of Frightenstein.
Yeah, that's the one. Right? It was like SCTV, but with monsters. Yeah.
The Hilarious House of Frightenstein. It
had Vincent Price.
Yeah. Yes, I've heard of it, but never seen it.
Yeah, the Vincent Price ones, they brought him in. He did every single intro and extra for all the shows, and then he, like in a half an hour,
Right.
He also did the tarot readings where like he would do like the fortunes as well, I think.
Yeah.
And then like those would be the random skits in there. But you had Wolfman Jack actually as a Wolfman doing dancing to like a radio song he would choose in front of this like telescreen of like hippie acid colors. It was crazy.
I gotta seek this out now.
Oh, it was a great kids show.
Yeah.
You mofos better say Don Rickles next. Well, we've talked about Don Rickles before in the past. Yeah. Rickles
that was around
classic.
I think that was around the time that we like. I think what was it? What was TBS? What was the one on Channel 2? Usually, it was the kid programming. And they had stuff like Today's Special,
Rumble the Robot.
Yeah.
Was it Commander Dave?
Yeah.
Commander Tom.
Commander Tom was one. There was also Today's Special where it was pretty much, hey, the hat goes on the mannequin at night, and Jeff comes to life with puppets and stuff.
You guys are really getting Canadian.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah. I remember Schoolhouse Rock. Now you're talking.
You guys went super Canadian on us.
Oh, I'm
you went
sorry.
super Canadian for a minute there. We're just like, we have no idea what they might as well be just
we'll
going
stop
like,
doing Canadian. Billy Connolly then.
You went.
Okay, Mr. Tick.
I promised to end every sentence with Target. How about that, culture?
Yeah, you went so super Canadian on us that I have to leave because I got 30 minutes to prep my show.
I'll make sure to comb first.
All right, well, head on over to Cultures after this. It is linked to it. We're gonna actually. I don't even know how much longer we're going to be staying here. Culture,
I gotta go. You have time. No, you need to go at least another 30 minutes and just lead right into me.
I gotta go.
No, we're probably only going about 5-10 minutes more because he's got to go. And
why can't?
I don't think there's any.
Why can't Paul stay up late?
Because you just insulted Canadians and then you said, "Hey, you come on my show."
Jerk. I did so far. You went over the line.
Culture. Every time you do this,
why don't you just call them maple syrup suckers while you're at it?
Tom is a better idea. Tom, what he needs is that sign from the Hulk holding, but it says anywhere but here, and it's just the piano music playing every time he screws up trying to get a guest.
Well, do you want to stick around for a little bit more of the comedian talk, Paul, or do you have to go too?
I got to go.
Why?
Because he's Canadian.
Well,
here's one for Chato. He goes,
"It's my bedtime. I got."
Are you coming?
Action says,
"Are you coming in the morning?"
Paul, how did Don Mr. Wizard Herbert end up in Canada?
I love Mr. Wizard. I remember that.
I didn't know he ended up in Canada. I know that the magician, the mentalist, ended up in Canada. He lived here. Kreskin. Yeah. Kreskin did his show out of Ottawa. So that was something, but no, I didn't know Mr. Wizard ended up here in Canada.
Okay.
Bozo Circus, was that Canadian or American? I can't remember that.
That was American out of Chicago.
No.
All right. Well, thank you, Culture, and thank you, Paul. We got a few more super chats to get through before we go here, but
don't rush because literally I set my show and my plan in 30 minutes.
Paul's leaving. The talent's leaving. So
have a good sleep, Paul.
That's true. I am leaving, but I think the show will be fine without me.
Until Paul left.
I've got lots to do tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
He's got the plaque. See,
adios.
I'm going to get a plaque.
Yeah, it's on your teeth.
On your teeth, yeah. Like me.
I beat you, Tom. I beat you.
Fudge.
You did on that one. Oh, he had to do that just to be a jerk.
Well,
all right. Thank you so much, Paul, for being here.
No. Thanks for always fun to be here.
Hopefully you get to stop by tomorrow. If not, we'll get to see you in the morning shows.
Get to see Society Reviews again.
Good to see you too, my man.
You were very quiet tonight.
Well, you guys started talking about stand-up comedians, and I realized I had like 3 more reviews I had to edit.
So he just went to work.
Yeah.
You know what? No, I appreciate your diligence and hard work, and I mean, stand-up is something. It's fun to talk about.
I mean, all I would have contributed was like Ron White and like who's the other one I saw? Jeff Dunham and
Jeff Fox.
Oh, you went to the redneck one?
No, I've actually just saw like Ron White by
just
itself.
Saw him randomly. Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, either that or like Mitch Hedberg or maybe some comedians like that.
I saw Ellen DeGeneres' first show in Toronto.
There was a time though where Jeff Foxworthy was the #1 comedian before Jeff Dunham.
Was that when she was so funny?
Yeah, when she was funny, she was real charming.
Okay.
It's hard to believe it, but yeah, Jeff Foxworthy used to sell out all kinds of shows.
I miss fat Drew Carey because I think he was funnier when he was fat.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and Paul's got to leave here, but we got Mr. Tickle Trunk who brings up Phyllis Diller, Sam Kinison for 1 year. Patrice O'Neill, most fearless comedian I've ever seen. Dangerfield, Stephen Wright, and Billy Connolly. I love Connolly too. He's great. Yeah.
You got to throw Billy Crystal for even a little bit because he did do it.
Yeah, Crystal's good too.
Now, I feel like another guy that goes completely over people's radar is Norm Macdonald, but a lot of his jokes would just go completely over everyone's head.
Well, he's more of a comedian's comedian in a way.
Well, he and I were good friends, and he was
really
nuts. Yeah, Norm Macdonald was crazy.
You got to tell us some stories about Norm. We love Norm.
Well, we would go to lunch. He'd go to the washroom and then turn the wrong way and leave the restaurant. And a half an hour later, we're going, where the fuck did Norm go? And then we'd go on a search in L.A. to try to find him because he would get lost.
I mean, Norm's style humor would be like, well, the worst thing about the Bill Cosby situation is their hypocrisy. I mean, the rapes are bad, but it's really the hypocrisy that just disgusts me.
He was good. There's no question. He had the delivery. Everything was good.
I miss him. We needed Norm, man.
Yeah, although he blocked me on Twitter. Fuck
Why?
him.
What'd you do?
I have no idea. I told him to stop talking about golf. Like, stop.
Oh, well, you pissed off an old man who wants to talk about golf. That's
funny. That's still funny.
But I knew his agent. I knew his agent, and we whenever if I came to LA, then I would see him. And
just before you go, here we got. What about Dennis Leary versus Bill Hicks? What do you say to that one?
Wow. Dennis Leary went into acting too hard. He kind of stopped being a stand-up. So Bill Hicks,
that's fair.
Course.
That's fair. I'd say Hicks has more of an impact on stand-up comedy. I'll
tell you, one of the funniest shows I ever saw was Louis C.K. I mean, wow, he had us just in tears talking about rape, of all things.
Gannigan ruined Hot Pockets.
There goes my monetization.
and the thing is with sorry about that, but one of the things that I had arguments during the Trump era with my fellow stand-ups here, and it's like was really easy for people who lean left, and most of the stand-ups leaned left, to recount a silly thing that Trump did or was attributed to Trump. Mm-hmm. And people would be howling at just the recounting of the event. And then their punchline would be, yeah, fuck Trump. And then people would be howling again. And I would have this argument saying, well, that's not a punchline. And that's not a routine. And if you're a real stand-up, you would go into an anti-Trump room, do pro-Trump jokes, and kill. That's what a real stand-up would do. And I got huge pushback from everybody because they suddenly felt they needed to do political stuff. I went, well, that's not our job.
See, but
Paul, there's only certain comedians who are good at that, right? And they cater to their certain audience. You're right, Paul. Like you can't. That's getting too deep into the woods. I mean, it's one thing. But
a stand-up has a craft to do.
Yeah, right. It's an art. You perfect it. But like you're right. If the punchline is like something like F Trump, that means they have no actual punchlines.
Well, that would have been like that would have been like
I turn off the channel. I turn off the channel because even if I watch that stand up, because then you're starting to see with all comedians, and eventually it's like, okay, so everyone's just pulling from the same hat. That's not funny. That's just being an NPC.
Well, even when we were at our height of political, a divide back in the 60s and 70s, I don't even remember comedians going out and saying, things like that. Like just recounting something and then going, fuck Nixon, and that's the punchline. Exactly. Like this didn't. I get what Paul's saying, and that's not comedy.
It's raising a crowd based off of political bias rather than actually telling a joke.
Exactly. Like you have your Dennis Millers and you have your Bill Maher's who can do political humor, but outside of that, it's very few.
It's I mean, like I said, Dick Gregory did a phenomenal job. But then I saw him in 1973. And he was just fantastic, but he was much more of we'll pull out the newspaper and talk about the most recent kind of events, kind of observing comedian. It was I mean there's a ton of really good comedians right now. Just nobody knows about them because nobody promotes them. The TV is dead. It's hard to, get something going even on YouTube. It was way better during Carson's time when he would introduce a comedian, and then suddenly they would blow up.
Yeah.
It was way more fun seeing.
Well, and you don't have HBO and all those things too, like it used to be. Now Netflix is where all the comedians are, and most of them comedians are well-established comedians, right? It's not like new and upcoming people. It's Chris Rock, it's Dave Chappelle, it's people that have been around for a while.
They got Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer, and Bert Kreischer's latest one where he's talking about he bought all the raffle tickets for his kid's school, and him and his wife.
How long has he been around though? That's what I'm saying. Like,
and Bert Kreischer, I think they've been around for a while. That's the Bill Burr crowd too. Like, yeah.
Well, that's not my point. That my point is like what Paul's saying is there's guys that have never been discovered yet, right? Like new and upcoming voices, and that's what I'm saying. We don't get it like we used to. With like even Rodney Dangerfield used to do like the young comedians shows for HBO and stuff like that, and he's right. Like you like move up the ring. And the golden ring was to get on Johnny's show. And if you got on Johnny's show and he called you over after your bit, you made it. Like that's it. Like that's like
and
the center ring.
That was really fun. To see that, and also you had to play clean for Johnny. But then if you ever watched comedians like unfortunately he died, Ralphie May, was just killer funny.
That's kind of the last group of young comedians we had was from that reality show and such, because he was part of that and a couple of those other guys.
Last stand up.
Yeah, that's like the last time I remember any new faces. But he was on there, right? Like that's my point. That's the last time I remember any new faces up and coming.
And things have gone quite woke. I mean, you talk to Chrissy Mayer, she can't do anything at the Improv.
Right.
I mean,
the reason why, so go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
I was gonna say the reason why I brought up like Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer because Bert Kreischer actually has a show where like they cooking with comedians, and he's had Gilbert Gottfried on and all of them on, and they just
Gottfried,
and they shoot the shit, and it's like watching these guys do it. That I wish that would still translate over, and I think that's why there was such an attack over the comedy, especially like the thing with Bill Burr and his comedy. They didn't go after Ricky Gervais. There's a format to this. You either go political, you go woke, or you are never considered funny because these people that are listening to you and telling you what's funny have never understood a joke to begin with. And I think that's where the passing of Robin Williams and comedians before him, that caused the degradation when it comes to telling jokes and standing up for what a joke is, to make you laugh, make you think, and not feel like life is too shitty.
And I mean, the thing is, though, too, you can have, it's funny. One of the funniest bits that I do is one where I talk about the greatest invention in the world. You know what the greatest invention is the remote key fob car lock and the different ways people lock their car. There's the runway model car lock. Beep beep. Then there's the OCD guy who beep beep. Beep beep beep. Beep 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 beep. Then there's the guy who forgets that he's locked it, goes all the way to the building, and then he's looking down from the 6th floor through the window going...
Looking for the lights.
Hopefully that it beeps. So I do about 8 of those, and the people, love it. It's quite...
You can do the Matthew McConaughey one now, too. Where you just look at it, and then you start monologuing.
Yeah. So it's fun, and you come up with weird things. I went to Costco. I went to get a large screen television, and I left with a 12-pack of 60-inch Samsungs.
Or it's the guy in the wheelchair going out to see if his wheelchair is still fine.
I don't know that one. What?
Oh, I made that up. I'm just made it right now.
Oh, that he left his wheelchair at the front of Costco?
Pretty much.
Oh, is that a rule?
No.
I have to know friend write a comedy bit once because he was telling me he's like, I was looking up quicksand porn and I'm like, what the fuck is quicksand porn?
Oh God, please no, we're not going.
It's pretty much what you think it is, and it's scantily clad women slowly sinking in quicksand. I'm like, dude, you've just reached the end of the internet. Like the next page is you've reached the end of the internet, turn back around, there's no farther to go. Right? Like when we've reached this point, we're quicksand porn. What the fuck? That was kind of the built. And
do they help them get out after they get them off, or no?
I don't know.
No, they're
maybe
they're just a graveyard of women stuck in quicksand.
Well, of course, the whole punchline to the bit is, well, what better kind of porn is there than, or what better woman is there than that? Because so as soon as you're done with her, she's gone. Basically,
yeah. So if she's sinking in quicksand, that must be the only Sands channel. I
Only
will.
Sams
Thank you very
instead of
much.
fans.
Enjoy the.
Thank you,
I'll
Paul.
be here till
Take care,
Thursday.
brother. We love
Bye,
you.
everyone.
See you tomorrow,
ya.
hopefully.
Fuck
Take
yeah.
care. Hillis Mallory says, Tom, think about how much better the third Batman film would have been with Robin Williams as Riddler instead of Jim Carrey. Honestly,
no, I don't
I
think so.
kind of like Jim Carrey's take, because if you really pay attention to what he's doing, he's just basically doing Frank Gorshin on crack. Like
It's living color Jim Carrey as Riddler, pretty much. That's
yes, but there's a bit of the Frank from the 60s Batman in there too.
See, it's like Tommy Lee Jones was a perfect fit for that. He made a great Two-Face just for that time.
Robin Williams would have been a better Joker.
Yeah, than Jack Nicholson though.
I don't know about better than Jack Nicholson, but if you're going to pick a role for one of the two, I would say Robin Williams would have been better as the Joker.
I think he'd make a great toy maker if he made a toy maker.
There's some other characters that he probably.
He had that movie Toys, right? Remember if you remember his Toys?
Yeah, and that's just it. They used him both times to get Jim Carrey and to get Jack Nicholson in the first place, and that's why he said he'd never work with Warner Brothers again.
Hear me on this. Instead of Vanilla Ice in Ninja Turtles 2, Jim Carrey playing Vanilla Ice in Ninja Turtles 2 with Go Ninja, Go Ninja.
No, he actually has a Ninja Turtle connection.
Yeah.
Did you know
Ninja,
that?
Go Ninja, go.
No.
He was making a movie with Judith Hoag when she got cast in the movie.
Nice.
And she's like, I just got cast for this thing. I don't know anything about it. It's called Ninja Turtles. And Robin went off. He's like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And she's like, what? You know what it is? He's like, hell yeah, I got all the comics. I got the video game. I got the shows. I like the toys. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Because he was a big nerd like us. Yeah. So he explained to Judith Hoag who the fuck April O'Neil was. She had no idea.
I still got that 14-inch Leonardo sitting on my shelf too. The original.
And he almost did one of the voices in the movie, believe it or not, because there was a time. I don't know which one, probably Mikey or Raph. It would have been. It's hard to say because they were going to, because the producer of the movie is actually Gallagher's agent. So they were going to have a bunch of comedians do the voices of the Ninja Turtles and stuff. Like they were going to have like Dana Carvey and Robin Williams, and I can't remember who else, but like, yeah, they were going to have all these comedians come in and do the voices.
That would have been amazing.
Yes and no, because they would have been way too old. Like that's the problem. Like it would have been cool, but at the same time, like there was no way they were going to be able to afford them all.
Yeah, Robin's daughter is named Zelda, based after the games. Yes,
yeah. He was a huge fan of the games and everything too.
That's how I met him. It was in the Toronto Eden Center. That was the first time I met him. He was just coming out of the EB Games down there. Crap load of stuff.
He was a big gamer. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Second time was the tattoo shop when I was getting my neck done. Yeah.
Yeah, he would. You know what's almost sad is he could have almost probably played Mario and done a good job too.
He pretty much has done great in anything, whether it be like what dreams may come to like toys. To, even RV was funny. I'm sorry, I still like.
Yeah, that's like one of my least of his,
but it's still him. I went to see it because it was him. That's the main draw, right? And him sitting on the toilet on the BlackBerry trying to get his whole dissertation.
Robin made some shitty movies too, though. Like let's not.
He's not going crazy here.
Yeah. Like, I think The World According to Garp is okay until the end. The end is a horrible ending. I, on the other hand, love Popeye, but I also understand what that is compared to what... Like, a lot of people went into Popeye expecting the Fleischer cartoon.
Was his 8-hour photo, or was that the one where he was doing all the pictures in the photo? It was an 8-hour photo?
That's a 1 hour photo, you mean?
1 hour photo? Was that his? I think, too. The one where
that was one of his creepy movies, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had a few that were kind of stinkers, but then he does some that are good. Like Toys bombed at the box office. It's a good movie, but it's weird.
LL Cool J, and he had what was his sister's name?
That was where
Cusack. That was Cusack.
Joan Cusack was in
Joan
it.
Cusack. Yeah. Damn.
I'm trying to think who else is in that movie.
See, I saw Patch Adams. And I didn't hate it.
Jamie Foxx.
And I didn't hate Patch Adams when I saw it, but then when I heard what they changed from the real story, I was kind of like,
oh, come on, the gynecologist convention where he has the legs on the other sides of the
that kind of shit was good. Like, there's some good moments in that movie.
Yeah, there is.
That's what's depressing about it is how much people hate it, and then people come after it because of how much they changed from the real story. And it's like, well, really, it just is as a Robin Williams movie, I enjoy it, but there is some stuff in it that's like, why, like,
why.
Like the killing of the girl, like that comes out of nowhere and shit like that. I mean, it's just kind of out of like, left field, but
he had a diverse career. I'll say that. But he's always going to be known as the genie and Jumanji. I think those are the two prominent roles too.
Good Will Hunting is one of his other big ones. The one I remember, I always
Fisher King.
Robin Williams was one of those with me growing up because Mork and Mindy was on when I was born. So that was on TV all the time, I remember. So he was Mork from Mork until I saw Popeye. And Popeye was one of the first VHS I ever owned as a kid. I got that for Christmas one year. So I had that. Plus, he was always popping up in children's stuff and kids stuff. He's here and there. And then so me with Robin Williams. And then Good Morning Vietnam was one of the first times I remember getting into an adult movie. It was because Robin Williams was in it, right? And, that was just a movie that really meant a lot to me, even though I was just a kid a kid, 8 years old when that movie came out.
Josh nailed it. Hook was another good performance. Jack was good. Jack was definitely different. As for Flubber,
Jack was one of the sucks. Yeah, Jack would go in the suck category, even though I think that's a Harold Ramis.
Bicentennial Man, I'm still iffy on.
Bicentennial Man, I didn't really care for. Flubber, I was not real big on. Dead Poets Society is great.
His voice acting in Robots wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
usually Robin can handle voice acting. Like, for instance, in that third Aladdin movie, he is the only good part of that. I hated that third Aladdin film. But his bit on the red carpet bit with I'm Thor. You're Thor? Yeah, well, it hurts.
Yeah, the original Jumanji. Yeah, the original Jumanji was before The Rock and Kevin Hart. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a Robin Williams highlight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We can go on.
Well, now we're just dragging it out just for culture's sake, and fuck that.
Yeah, try to give him some time to fill.
But I have a private chat too, so check out that.
Let me double check.
Check out that Richard Rennie if you have. No, you can't play it, but watch it if you've never seen it. The Steamy Pile of Me. Yeah, it's good.
All right. Well, I don't see any member stuff in the mod group, so I'm assuming we didn't miss anything there. So I'm going to thank everybody, especially for those who have helped, promoted, shared Sadie's GoFundMe. I didn't want to do it in the first place, and you guys have overwhelmed me with the support on that. I can't believe it. It's been insane. So luckily Sadie is going to get her operation. It's already set up to go, and I will try to give you guys updates on that as we go along. So it'll be like just a week and a couple days, and she'll be going in. So thank you so much, guys, for helping with that and making that possible. But other than that, head on over to Cultures after this. Steven, do you have anything you want to plug on the way out?
No, but tomorrow morning I might be doing more of that new Starship Troopers game. So if you're like 90s killing bugs, first-person shooter, that's where it's at.
Did not know there was one. And Jacob, what you got coming up? Anything to plug?
Tomorrow night we're doing a movie review show. Little Mermaid will be talked about. A film called Kandahar and that Robert De Niro film. Tuesday we have the Barroom Podcast, episode 50 coming up this week. And then this Friday night on Twitch and Rumble, we're doing the movie night. We're watching Rock and Roll High School. So that's going to be a good one. We watched the original 1975 film Dolomite on Friday. That's up on Rumble if you guys want to go back and check that one out too. So,
guys, the ones that are saying the 95 percentile on Rotten Tomatoes, actually click on the audience score, not just the verified number. You'll see that it's a lot lower than 95%.
Big difference, yeah.
Big, like 50% difference.
Same thing with the verified scores and the critics on
IMDb, and Metacritic.
Yeah, they've been punching those numbers for years, though.
We talked about that earlier on the thing. There's no way I would trust the IMDb right now after that. Yeah.
Thanks, Fenrir.
But thanks, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you over on Cultures.
Yeah, you.
Hey, excuse me. Nada. Are you doing this?